Yeah, good afternoon, peeps. What's going on? Coach Neil here, emotional intelligence coach and master of my own destiny. What am I going to talk into today? First and foremost, I got to express the joy and the love that I have experienced today with a group call with my men's group. Absolutely powerful. And it got me to realize something so wonderful, and that is when people come together, whether it's men or women and men together, something extraordinary happens. And what is that happens? When you're in a group of men, as this I was today, we realized, and I put it out into the group, what is it that you're experiencing right now? And the experiences that I received back was, you give me permission to be courageous. You give me permission to open up and know that this is a safe place and that I am safe, and it is okay to speak up about my childhood, basically. And because we've all got triggers, and those triggers that are in us from childhood doesn't mean to say that can be something for life, something for you to carry your whole life. And what I mean by that is you're still going to carry it, but it's having the tools I give and support people with to say, like, the real question I always ask is, and this is ego versus real self, your heartfelt self, is, would you rather be right than happy? That is the ego, wanting to be right than happy. And so just to be right about the wrong thing. And so today, when I realized that group therapy, group coaching is probably the way to go, because there's more than one heart in the room, and there's more than one mind in the room, and we realize that we actually have a common theme that will come from the similar society and a similar upbringing. And what I mean by that is our cultural society. And so diving into that and realizing that something is magical is happening, and exponential growth happens when we work in a group. One-on-one coaching I love, and it gives people a little bit more space to just be supported for an hour. But when you have a group of people coming together and you only have an hour and a half that turns into 2 hours, there's something really powerful that happens, something magical. And the universe provided today one of those places. And each and every one of us on this planet has trauma. And a lot of us don't know what that trauma is because we've stuffed it down, because as a young child you had unmet needs. And when those unmet needs come up, we create stories and arguments and avoidance of all the things that make us feel uncomfortable, because we were never taught how to be in relationship with our family and our parents and our wives and our partners. We just weren't taught that. We were taught to get up in the morning and do, to get up in the morning and go to work and earn money and put food on the table. And for men, that's love. That's what we did. That's what we were taught. If we do that, we're good. And it's not the men's fault, and it's not the women's fault that we can't communicate as men. Speaking from a man's point of view, and I've evolved over the last 20 years. And so how do we overcome that? We overcome that by practicing with each other, getting coaching, getting to see your blind spots, because you don't see what you don't see. And as I think I've said this before, is Muhammad Ali, he said, I can shadow box in the mirror, but it's still only a one perspective. It's the moment I get into the ring and I get punched in the kidneys that I suddenly see my blind spots. That's because other people have a different perspective than you do, and they see what you don't see and hear what you're really saying. What's the music behind the words, and where you're willing not to step into the tension. What is the tension that you're not leaning into? And you can't do that alone. So I put it out to you. Why coaching is so powerful is I see something you don't see, and I'm expert. I've been doing this many years. and the results that I am getting with my clients, or they are getting with them, because they're the ones that are in the battlefield, the ones that are on the field of play. And when you come off the field, I'm there as your coach to say, okay, what worked, what didn't work, and how do we close the gap and keep getting uncomfortable. Your uncomfort is your new comfort. It's your new normal. There was a particular incident recently where somebody said, I just want my old husband back. But the old husband was the one that she had a transgression against, but she's asking for him back. And she didn't realize what she was saying until she said it, until she was called on it. I said, do you want the old or do you want the new version of him? And what we want, I believe, all of us, is to feel connected, feel safe, and feel loved. Each and every one of us, man and woman. And so, who do you want to be today? What mirror do you want to look at and say, I love that person looking back at me? So hold yourself high today. Because as we go into Thanksgiving, what's available to you? What's available to you is consciously showing up as a loving, courageous, inspirational leader. And when you notice that you're not being that, leave the room, go for a walk, come back in your body. Emotional intelligence is the emotional body. Who am I being right now? Is it serving me? And is it serving my family? Is it serving my people I work with? If it's not, then shift. It's no one's fault, because we're all going through some sort of challenge, every single one of us. So I invite you today to live your best life today, just today. Let's start with today, one day at a time. And find those groups that support you, those support groups. Reach out to those support groups, because they will change your life if they are the right support groups for you. So on that note, I'm so grateful and so thankful for who you're being in the world, and the fact that you're here looking at my channel, listening to me. And if this channel and this work and this information is supporting you, share it with somebody else. You know, sharing is caring. But I'm going to leave you with two questions. What are you most thankful for today? And how can I acknowledge you today for something you're great at, and what you would like to be acknowledged for? So have an awesome Thanksgiving. I'm thankful to be alive and kicking in this gorgeous world that I live in, and for my son, and for my family, and for the people that I coach who trust me and trust themselves first to be on that call and to show up. So how are you showing up today? Love you guys. Talk soon.